The shutter door slid down with a harsh clatter, and 3 unfamiliar men were already seated inside the store. Gao Tu's eyes widened. From the smell, he realized immediately these were all alphas. His chest tightened, and a cold wave of panic coursed through him. He was still in isolation, still weak from treatment, and now he was faced with strangers whose very presence made him feel unsafe. Without thinking, he raised his hand to cover his nose. "What's wrong?" Gao Ming's smile vanished in an instant, replaced by a sharp, calculating glare. "Do you think alphas stink? Aren't you a beta? Why are you suddenly so sensitive to the smell of alphas?" Gao Tu's heart raced. 3 towering alphas surrounded him. Their combined pheromones hung in the air like a heavy fog, suffocating him. He stepped back instinctively, trying to put space between himself and them. "You said you had something for me?" His voice trembled slightly. Gao Ming's lips curled into a small, uneasy smile. "Oh, that. I suddenly don't feel like giving it to you anymore." Before Gao Tu could respond, one of the alphas, his arms covered in intricate tattoos, interrupted, his voice sharp. "Old Gao, stop blabbering. You owe our stall 300,000 yuan. You said your son promised to help you pay it back. Well, here he is. But look at him, sickly, weak. How is he supposed to pay off this debt?" "Pay off debt? What debt?" Gao Tu's breathing quickened. "You said you weren't gambling anymore. You said you were done. You said you had a stable job and would live peacefully." "Young man," the tattooed alpha's tone was mocking. "Do you even know your own father? Lo Gao never tells the truth, does he? All right, enough. Tell me, can you pay it back or not?" Gao Tu's hands shook with anger. Even a rabbit bites when it's cornered, and he felt trapped, stabbed repeatedly in his sore spots. "I don't have any money." His voice was sharp now. "Go ask whoever actually owes you." The tattooed alpha smile turned cold. "So I came all this way and I leave empty-handed? You lent money without checking your borrower? How could you lend to someone like him?" Gao Tu's voice rose. "This isn't a stall, it's an underground casino. Gambling is illegal. You're committing a crime." The alpha laughed, deep and cruel. "Oh, so you know all this. That doesn't mean you get to walk away." Gao Ming swallowed nervously. He knew the man before him was dangerous. This wasn't just any loan shark. He was notorious for cruelty, both in business and pleasure. And he had a preference, a very specific one. He liked tall, strong omegas. Delicate omegas were easy to find, but someone like Gao Tu, tall, pregnant, was incredibly rare. Gao Ming's mind raced. He needed money. Debts were pressing down on him, suffocating him. Compared to that, Gao Tu's health or even the pregnancy meant nothing. "It's just a sleepover," Gao Ming muttered internally. "Not the first time, and it's his first time. Maybe we can bid higher." If the child Gao Tu carried was Shen Wenling's, it could be used as leverage for a huge payoff. If not, well, Gao Ming's thoughts darkened, thinking of the tattooed alpha's tastes. Someone like Gao Tu, tall and strong, pregnant even, was exactly the kind of omega the alpha prized. The potential value was immense. Gao Tu, desperate, pulled out his phone. The red digits on the screen were his lifeline. Police. Help. But the phone rang only once before it was yanked from his hands. The tattooed alpha was stronger than expected. A single, crushing grip on Gao Tu's shoulder forced him to stagger. Gao Tu had strength, yes, but it was weak in comparison to the overwhelming numbers and the unique situation he was in. He was pinned to the ground, unable to move. "Call the police?" The alpha leaned closer, his voice low and dangerous. "There's no chance for that here. Not for someone in trouble like you." Gao Tu struggled, instinctively shielding his abdomen. "You didn't lend me anything. Why should I pay you? Be reasonable." "Reason?" The alpha spat. "I hate reason. The most in my life." He kicked Gao Ming hard in the stomach, sending him sprawling. "You said your son would pay me and he wants to reason with me? Old Gao, what do you say I should do?" Gao Ming groaned, pain twisting his face, yet he quickly laughed flatteringly. "Don't do it. I don't have money. My son used to earn well. He helped me before small amounts. For him, 300,000 is nothing." The tattooed alpha's cold gaze remained on Gao Tu, who was still struggling on the ground. "It's just, he resigned recently. Money's tight. Look, if it doesn't work out, you can mortgage him to me. Do whatever you want." "Mortgage?" The alpha raised an eyebrow, incredulous. "Why would I want a beta as a mortgage? How valuable could he be?" Gao Ming's smile widened. "Look closer. He's not a beta, he's an omega. Smell it if you don't believe me. Omega?" The alphas bent down, sniffing the back of his neck. A sharp intake of breath. "Big brother, he's got an inhibitor patch. This one's a treasure." The tattooed alpha ripped the patch off. A gentle, calming scent of sage filled the air from the back of Gao Tu's neck. His stomach tightened. His heart pounded like a drum. Being sniffed like this, it was violating, exposing. Gao Tu's face turned pale. Lightning seemed to strike every nerve in his body. He flailed violently. One alpha got a fist to the nose, another a kick to the ground. The tattooed alpha watched leisurely, clearly entertained. "Intense," he mused, lips curling. "I like those with personality." He hissed, obscene and cruel. "So hot!" Before Gao Tu could regain his balance, a wild, tangy scent of orange assaulted him. His neck, delicate and exposed, was overwhelmed by opposing alpha pheromones. Pain flared through his body, and he staggered, nearly collapsing. Huabi, the tattooed alpha, reached out as if to steady him. "What should we do?" he asked, but it wasn't a question. "I like you, but I'm a man of fairness. Instead of taking you outright, we'll calculate based on, well, the number of times you pay off the debt." He glanced at his companions, grinning. "Don't you agree? Brother is right," one said. "Brother is so selfless." Another echoed. Gao Ming coughed nervously. "How long will these deductions last?" he asked, trying to play innocent. "I hoped to borrow some money using this kid to recover my losses." Huabi blinked, stunned by the audacity. Then he laughed. "You want to borrow more money from me?" Gao Ming's grin didn't falter. "This kid is valuable. Not just as a mortgage, he's pregnant." Gao Tu froze. His face drained of color. His breathing hitched. "Pregnant?" he whispered internally. Panic flooded him. How could Gao Ming know? How? What? His throat constricted, a heavy, invisible weight. Words lodged there, refusing to form. Huabi's eyes gleamed, calculating. "Pregnant? Pitiful little thing. If I were your alpha, you wouldn't be alone, would you? Especially with that belly of yours?" Gao Ming's grin widened, cruelly deliberate. "His alpha doesn't want him," he said. Gao Tu's face went even paler. "No one wants the baby in my belly, so you get it for free." Gao Tu's mind reeled. Fear, anger, disbelief, shame. They all crashed over him at once. He wanted to scream, to fight, to flee, but his body betrayed him, weak from recent treatments and pregnancy. He could barely lift his arms to shield himself. Huabi crouched closer, the scent of dominance and danger overwhelming. The other alphas hovered around, silent, watching, assessing, waiting. Gao Tu's pulse thundered in his ears. Every instinct screamed. Run, fight, escape, but where? How? And yet, despite his fear, a spark of defiance flared. His strength, though limited, still existed. He had fought before, and he could fight again. He wouldn't go down without a struggle. He wouldn't let them take what was his, or his child's. Stay tuned for the next episode to see what happens next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss any twists in this intense story.